Hello and welcome to Culture Illiterate, a podcast where four friends overthink Christmas. This is the first one of these we've recorded in a while, so it's probably going to be a little rough. But I am Jake. I believe the Christmas season is the best part of the year. People who like summer are clowns. And with me are my friends and fellow co-hosts.
My name is Jason, and I believe in Shador Sanders.
Perfect timing. My name is Matt, and I believe nothing is sacred anymore.
Never has been.
Nope. And if you beg to differ, go watch the Animal Farm trailer, and you too will no longer have any faith in humanity.
What's sacred is the friends we made along the way.
My name is Sean, and I believe... I hate life. Why? Why?
For those for those just listening, me and Sean just watched the trailer twice. Once for us, the second for Jake, but Jake refused, so it was just me and Sean watching the Animal Farm trailer being directed by Andy Serkis.
It looks bad.
What if it's one of those... I would laugh so hard, but I doubt this, if it were like Transformers 1, where all the trailers make it look absolutely awful, and then suddenly it comes out, and it's like the best thing ever, and you're just
I was thinking that.
What happened?
What if it's just like the best rug pull of all time, and like the movie comes out, and it's actually like very poignant and like calculated?
Here's the problem with that, is that it's Animal Farm. Animal Farm, it's barely violent, and this is a PG movie, not
that is the
PG-13, not, well, of course, not rated R. So I felt like if it was like
You
PG-13,
can't really hide the rating.
exactly. Like if it was PG-13, then I would have faith. But because it's not, and the movie looks the way it does, I have zero faith.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong for feeling that way. I'm not. I'm not trying to.
No, Matt, you're
Disagree
wrong
with
for
that.
feeling that way. I'm
I'm
disagree
feeling
with
the
that.
wrong way.
It's gonna be the greatest movie ever, and you'll all be proven. It's gonna win all the Academy Awards, all 10 of them. And the Academy Awards will just stop afterwards because they won't be able to find a better movie than this one.
I'm pretty sure there's more than 10 awards in the Oscars.
Nope, there's only 10.
Shut up.
I don't think that's true.
No, there's only 10 now,
There's only 10.
and they all belong to Animal Farm.
Name 10 of them.
That's not the point.
Best movie,
Best film,
animated movie, best
animated movie,
soundtrack,
best anime movie,
best voice acting, best
Nope,
acting.
that is not one of them.
You shut your mouth. What else?
You shut your
Best
mouth. Where's the
animation.
Academy
Best animation.
Not one of them.
now? Best
Most
Seth Rogen
movie with the
performance.
most sexual impact.
You're just pulling so much out of your ass, and you haven't even mentioned like
Goddamn
screenplay,
mouth.
cinematography, production design,
Oh,
supporting
character
actor.
design.
Obviously has
Yes.
the best production design. We don't even need to mention the production design award because it already won it. They saw the
Yep.
trailer and they already gave it to it, so we don't even need to talk about that one.
There's a award for best investor panel to shout out to all my investors.
Most profitable film. The reason we make movies, profit.
Best money laundering.
Best money laundering, best CEO bonuses. Oh, that's a good one.
Best pig ass on film.
Best
Best
film
quirky
unreleased
pig on
but
film.
used as a tax
We could go
write-off.
on, Jake.
Best propaganda piece.
Best military funded movie. Best
Oh, I was about to
This,
say
this
something,
is a movie we
but
should,
it would have to be cut.
when it
Best
comes out.
worst
This is
labor
a movie we should
practices.
cover. This is a movie we should.
No, that's the day I
Best
leave the
worst labor
podcast.
practice.
Best union busting techniques. Anyway, as we were saying, Idle Farm will win all the awards. Everything that we've just mentioned, all 10 of them.
We've spent so much time
I can't wait
on
for Andy
Animal
Serkis
Farm.
to.
I don't think Sean even got to finish his
And it's
introduction.
deserved. My introduction was that my name was Sean, and Animal Farm is the thing that I hate.
It doesn't sound like you hate it. Sounds like you think it's peak.
I
You
can't wait for
do
Andy
like a
Serkis to direct
culture-
Mouse afterwards.
We should do a culturally illiterate special where we analyze the trailer frame by frame, right? And tell everyone what an amazing
As you can
movie
see
it
in
is.
this frame.
We could make one of those click 85
As you can
things
see
you
in this
missed
frame.
in the Animal Farm trailer. And the thumbnail is us going like, which I just made a face that listeners can't see.
Yeah.
And there's like red
What?
circles everywhere and arrows
And we
pointing.
Yeah, see,
And-
one of the facts
the
is
video
going
has
to
to
be
be at
George
least-
Orwell will roll in his grave because of this movie.
Animal Farm will return
don't forget
in
to,
Avengers
include-
Slop Wars.
And we also have to include at least 10 minutes of just Joe Rogan, Seth Rogen laughing.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan
wish
will
Joe
be
Rogan
the
were
voice
in the
cast
movie.
in the sequel.
God, I hate life.
I don't know how to get off of this.
You don't. It's just Animal
You should
Farm.
just talk
The
about
greatest
Animal
movie
Farm
ever.
for the next hour.
It just we're covering a movie that I think is like gives such a warm feeling, and I'm forgetting that in place of just like despair for the future of cinema because of this shit. I give it 3 months
Hey, you know
before
what?
some
I
story
can't-
comes out that they used AI in this.
Best AI uses
The whole
in a
thing's AI. What do you
film.
mean?
Best AI uses in a
God.
film. The award goes to Animal Farm.
I want them to make the entirety of Mouse, but it's a generative AI movie.
Sean, like you're genuinely one of the most anti-Semitic things I've ever heard was that sentence.
It would be the worst thing in existence.
Like I think Nick Fuentes just invited you on his show. That's how fucked up that was.
Oh, let Gronk write the script, please.
Oh, you mean Mecha Hitler?
Yes.
Grokkapedia?
Yeah, Mecha Hitler.
Yes. Yes. Let him write it. Let him cook.
Dear God,
You guys are giving me
I love
very
the-
violent thoughts.
this. You know, this is supposed to be our nice holiday special, and it's about everything falling apart.
Yeah, that's a good point. The whole point
Well-
of this episode is we're calling this an episode of One Shots, the 10th One Shots episode. It's the holiday special, a Christmas special, to talk about the holdovers. Merry fucking Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year, all that shit. And instead we're talking about like one of the most depressing things in the realm of film in recent days. There's so much we could talk about that's not this for this
What are the
Christmas
comments
special.
on the
I think what would
trailer?
be more depressing. It
One of the
would be
comments on
10
the
times
tra-
more depressing if we talked about Disney giving $1 billion to
AI?
OpenAI and letting
To
them
open AI
use
to make AI videos with their
Ah,
Yes. All right, Jason, give it to us. Give it to us. We're gonna say.
Well, one of the comments on the trailer suggested making a 1984 adaptation starring Jack Black and The Rock.
honestly.
Oh
like
my
that.
gosh.
The only thing that could be worse is
idea ever.
you want to talk about bad film ideas? Do you know about how Zack Snyder wants to make an Atlas Shrugged movie?
A what movie?
Okay, Zack Snyder is like a really big fan of
God.
Ayn Rand, who, if you don't know who she is, just like look her up. but
Oh no, I do know who she is.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like that
that's
weird
like,
woman and with
and
the weird
honestly, I
beliefs.
think
Yeah.
that would be better than what's the studio that's doing Animal Farm? Because the only thing I know about it is apparently when they tried to pitch it, it was like very hard for them to sell it.
Uh,
I
I
don't
am looking it
know
up right
who made
now.
it, but I know that the distributor that bought it is Angel Studios, and they're the people who make a bunch of very heavy Christian propaganda movies and also buy up movies that uh,
You know what?
nobody
That's
else
very
wants.
true. That's very
Yeah,
true.
I
It
just know that
looks like
apparently they were trying to sell it to like major studios. That they were talking to like Sony Animation, and basically the film was already made and it was so bad that nobody wanted to buy it except this Angel Studios place that just makes like Christian propaganda films.
probably that those guys who like make those stupid Jesus movies every Christmas.
Like I
And then
don't think
my religious family member will send me trails of these. Like, is this the best thing you've ever seen? I'm like, no. Please stop texting me.
can't it at least be like a
Anyway,
Scorsese? Like Scorsese movies are Christian and they fucking rip, but like this shit, bro.
It's gonna be the greatest thing ever.
here's the thing. Okay, I was about to derail this conversation again, talking about Christian films. No, 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 no. I'm not gonna do it. I
I,
already derailed the conversation
I can wait.
for.
I can use that to transition us to Rex. Actually,
I mean, we could talk about how they all fucking
I
suck, like
recommend the
their
Church
music
of
too.
Latter Day Saints. No, I recommend,
What?
but talk
The entire.
because so I'm Mormon now, guys. I got my garments on.
You recommend
Time
all-
to talk about our Lord and Savior.
Um, I recommend, but like if you want to talk about an animated film with Christian values that are really fucking good, in the spirit of Christmas, um, what I think should go down as one of the greatest trilogies point blank of all time. I want to uh, shout out and recommend my childhood into adulthood favorites, the Peanuts holiday specials. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, the Happy Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown. I think it's what's called Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown. But all of those are great. They're timeless, in my opinion. So I wanted to give a Christmas themed rec, slash holiday themed rec. Since we're calling this a Christmas special, so all three of those. And then also just the other day, the wife and I watched this movie, The Baltimoreans. That was really good. It's about improv comedy guy who's 6 months sober, and on Christmas Eve goes through a series of unfortunate incidents, beginning with him getting his tooth knocked out and needing emergency dental work. And then while said emergency dental work is getting performed, his car gets towed. And of course, the garage tows his car, but is also not open to give him his car back. And a lot of things ensue, and it's a fun, unexpected, like, friendship relationship between him and this dentist that treats him, and it's like a good 90-minute watch, and it's very good Christmas vibes. That's what I got.
I can throw out a Christmas rec or
It doesn't
two.
have to
I
be
have two.
Christmassy just because I did it.
I'm theming it Christmas. Fuck you. I recommend Klaus and Tokyo Godfathers. Those two are top notch.
Fuck you, Sean. That was gonna be my rack. Ah.
I recommend
Yeah, eat my entire ass.
the one Thanksgiving episode of Malcolm in the Middle where Malcolm throws up in the turkey because he gets really drunk.
I've never seen Malcolm in the Middle.
You should.
I've never seen Tokyo Godfathers, but I really want to. I'll triple down with Matt and Sean on recommending Klaus. Also, you know what? I was hitting up Sean's wife about this, but I recommend Hamnet. I just saw that last night, and that's not Christmas related at all. But Hamnet is one of the best movies of 2025. Jessie Buckley for Best Actress in a Leading Role, and for this year's Oscars, because next year's Oscars, obviously, it's going to whoever is the lead actress in Animal Farm.
Exactly.
Of course.
See, Jake gets it now.
I'm
He's finally joining the
understand.
wave.
Like just like how I joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Um,
Jesus Christ.
what?
Jesus Christ.
Did I say
Jesus
Christ?
Christ.
Did I say
Jesus
Christ?
Christ.
Whoa. I didn't mean to.
Oh, whoa.
Are we?
Jesus Christ,
Jesus
princess.
Christ. um.
I cry to you, Jesus. See, now are you we're
Jesus.
Christmas theme now.
It's because it's Christmas themed because we keep saying Jesus. Um.
Exactly. Dweebus? How are we gonna say Jesus? You dweebus?
This is so fucking stupid. Um.
It's just so
What
funny.
else is Christmassy?
What do you mean?
Christmas.
Animal Farm?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of Christmas themed stuff that I could whip out and recommend if I really wanted to, but we'd be here all day.
I recommend Die
Like the
Hard.
Holdovers, for example.
Or the Deviant, but yes, the Holdovers. Well, that's a spoiler about whether or not we recommend the Holdovers. Okay, well, I
None
guess
of us
that's Sean.
recommended. It's all ass.
I guess
Everybody.
that's Sean wanting to move on.
No, I laid up a good transition, and you're trying to ruin it.
Yeah, you're right. I did. Sean tried to lay up the easy transition, and he was lobbing a layup like it's basketball, and I spiked that shit like it's volleyball. We are
You-
covering the Holdovers
you-
for what? What, Matt?
You got the easy pass, and then you fucked it up like Lonzo Ball did that layup earlier today.
Well, I just don't like Sean. So that's like the root of that. I didn't see that. I'll have to look up that Lonzo clip. We are covering the Holdovers, which released in October 27th, 2023. It is written by David Hemmingson, directed by a man who, well, he thought she was 18 when he did what he did. Eigel Brild was the cinematographer, and it stars Paul motherfucking Giamatti as Professor Paul Hunnam, Dominic Sessa as Angus Tully in his acting debut, Divine Joy Randolph as Mary Lamb. Also in the cast are Carrie Preston as Miss Lydia Crane, Brady Hepner as Teddy Kuntz. I don't remember how they pronounce it. Fuck. Andrew Garman as Dr. Hardy Woodrup, and Naheem Garcia as Danny the school janitor, amongst other people, including a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. And I just don't. This is where I've decided to stop naming names for casting. So, had anyone? I had seen this movie when it came out. I saw it with, I think it was my whole family. I think Jason was there. Correct me if I'm wrong,
I was.
Jace. Sean and Matt,
had
had
not.
you guys seen this before watching for this?
I have not.
I wanted to see it, but never got a chance to, which disappointed me.
I remember seeing the trailer for it, and like I wasn't sure if it was like an actual old movie at first, or like that was getting like, you know, like a special screening, or if it was just like a movie that was made to look like it was in the 70s. But then I was like, no, there's no way Paul Giamatti would look that old in the 70s.
Yeah, this movie is set in 1970, like the end of 1970, and they do a really good job making everything from like the opening logos through the credits, and the entire of the runtime feel like it's a movie from 1970. Like if you woke up and put this on, I think somebody would believe it was like made in the 70s, not.
Shit, I did.
It's
One of the
from
parts
trailer.
that I loved that about it, and I was actually curious, but I didn't get to look into it, was like the production, and I was kind of curious if they filmed on like what they filmed on, because
It was
like
actually
I was wondering
filmed
if it was like a
digitally.
post-production. It
Was it really?
Yeah, I actually watched a video that said that like today.
Oh shit! Well, that's a cool thing
Oh,
to
that's
know.
interesting.
Yeah, it has a great.
That
I mean,
I'm surprised.
you're surprised.
I'm just surprised more or less because it looked really well, and I was wondering if it was like a post-production thing that they did to make it like appear that they did it on film, or if they uh had used some sort of other magic fuckery to do that. But no, seeing that it was, or hearing that it's on digital is surprising.
Yeah, because it really does have a great like grainy quality to it, and it's I don't know, the cinematography is good, the color grading is really good. I know I actually the thing I found out about it today is that it's like a loose remake of a French film from 1935, which I had no idea about that. I don't know. It's called Merluce. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I ain't French. I um don't like the French, but
It's okay, we hate the French.
so I don't know how close, like how faithful it is, or if it's one of those things where it just kind of like took the premise of people getting left behind on Christmas and left it at that. But that's a little fun fact that I learned since Jason's talking about the things that they learned. Sorry, my brain is stalling. Excuse me, I had to let out a big burp. All right.
It's reloading, don't worry.
But now I'm just waiting for Sean to stop.
I can keep going.
I probably have to cut that because I feel like Jeopardy will like sue it. Like fucking content ID is crazy.
No, it's fine. Alex Trebek died.
I don't think that's how that works. Alex
It's
Trebek,
fine,
come on the
Alex
show. Alex Trebek, friend of the show. Is that the one with? Is she Vanna White? Is she in that shit too?
No, that's Wheel of Fortune.
Okay, Vanna White, come on the show. Is she alive? She's alive, right?
Yes.
Is she still doing Wheel of Fortune?
And you know she has never repeated a dress on Wheel of Fortune.
That's
Every single
insane,
episode
bro.
she wears a brand new dress.
What a legend.
That's kind of cunt.
Absolutely it is. So this movie, like we said, it's set in 1970, December of 1970. It starts off, we got Paul Hunnam, who's a teacher at Barton Academy, a New England all-male boarding school that he once attended on a scholarship. His students and fellow teachers despise him for his strict grading and stubborn personality, as well as having an unpleasant odor and sweaty hands. And I believe they call him wall-eyed. He has a lazy eye. They're very, very, very mean to him. Dr. Woodruff, Barton's headmaster and one of Hunnam's former students, scolds him for costing the academy money by flunking a major donor's son, causing Princeton University to rescind that student's offer of admission. As punishment, Hunnam is forced. Well, this is kind of a lie. It says it's punished. This synopsis is wrong. It says it's punishment. It's not punishment. One of the other teachers doesn't want to be. One professor every year has to stay behind with the boarding school kids whose families do not want them around on Christmas, which is immensely sad. And the teacher whose turn it is to do that has lied about his mother having lupus. He makes reference to the fact that he barely even talks to his mother in order to get out of it, and then it falls to Hunnam, who is forced to supervise 5 students left on campus during the holiday break, including Angus Tully, our main character, whose mother canceled the family trip to St. Kitts to instead honeymoon with her new husband. Also staying behind is cafeteria manager Mary Lamb, whose late son Curtis had attended Barton but recently died in the Vietnam War after being drafted. Unlike most Barton students, Curtis did not get a student deferment because he could not afford to go to college after his time at Barton. To the students' chagrin, Hunnam forces them to study and exercise on their break. After 6 days, a student's wealthy father arrives by helicopter and agrees to take all 5 of the students on the family ski trip with the parents' permission. Angus, unable to reach his parents to get this permission, is left behind as the only student remaining with Hunnam and Mary. So that's kind of just like the initial premise and setup. We don't spend too much time with the other students, but it becomes pretty clear that Angus is pretty antagonistic to the rest of them, especially the aforementioned during the cast list, Kuntz. He doesn't really have a great relationship with Hunnam, who is supervising, and everyone's pretty cool with Mary, though. So
Mary's cool with everyone.
How could you not like Mary?
Exactly.
I know she got nominated for this at the Divine Joy Randolph did at the as of right now, named Oscars, soon to be renamed Animal Farm Excellence in Cinema Awards. But
I mean, rightfully so. She's awesome in this.
oh yeah,
She
she's
definitely
great.
delivers on like the warm mom energy that you get a lot in these Christmas movies. She
Yeah,
definitely
fun
delivers on that.
fun fact about her, she's from Philly.
She is?
Oh,
Yo,
shout
I
out.
did not know that.
Yes.
She's really funny in this other movie that just came out, Eternity. So I really like her. I had no idea she's from Philly.
Oh, she's in Eternity? I didn't even realize.
Yeah, she's in Eternity.
I
I'm
haven't
assuming
seen it yet.
you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, she plays she plays an afterlife coordinator who like helps these people that have recently died pick what their afterlife is going to be, and she's very funny in it. A wildly different character than Mary, who is very like sweet but somber in this movie is how I would describe her, because she's obviously mourning her son, and the fact that being kind of surrounded by a bunch of very wealthy privileged kids who got to avoid the draft of um a very unpopular war just by having their money, while she has to work at the school her son used to go to and got killed while these other people got to just, be rich and avoid the draft. Um, I guess while we're on it, it's early, but like I feel like we should talk about the performances. Obviously, Divine Joy Randolph is exceptional as Mary, and I think kind of carrying like a certain sadness in her performance at all times, but never as like a person that you would just want to be friends with, because she has the sadness, but she never is really anything but kind to people. But Paul Giamatti and Dominic Sessa are both excellent as well. Sessa being like someone who had not acted before and they just like cast, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean the performance. I don't want to say that the performances carry it because the story is also great and like intriguing enough, but the performances are really like the main focus, I feel like, in this movie, and all the main cast is just incredible.
Yeah, Divine Joy Randolph, I want to correct myself, actually did win Best Supporting Actress for this. Giamatti was nominated, and then it also got nominated for Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Editing. All of those things more than well deserved, in my opinion. I'd have the acting, like Jason said, I don't want to like say the acting carries it, because it also has like a wonderful aesthetic choice to make it look like authentically like a 70s film. I think it's kind of edited that way as well. And then the screenplay nomination kind of speaks for itself, but like every character in this is like witty, but in a different way. It's not your three like leads, Mary, Hunnam, and Angus, are not. Sometimes like when a movie wants all these characters to kind of be quick-witted, they all sound the same, but each of these three people feels very distinctly themselves, and like their sense of humor is defined by their background and by their personal issues.
I definitely agree with that, especially the fact that like this movie is very much a throwback to how long ago? Like early 90s, maybe late 80s movies. Like the
I
way
was
it's
gonna
shot
say
and edited.
70s.
70s? I could be
Well,
70s as well.
That's what we've been talking
I mean,
about.
It's set in the 70s.
I mean, the thing is like the thing is about this movie is that it's also paced fairly well. It's very I don't want to say slow, but it takes its time, which I feel like is not as prevalent nowadays. Usually it's like go 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 go. While with this movie, there's like a lot of slow moments, a lot of moments to just take its time, let the scene play out. I was going to talk. I was going to talk about spoilers, but like I'm not gonna
We
talk
could talk.
about that
We
right
talk
now.
about spoilers the whole
I
podcast.
was-
Who cares? Go for it.
Yeah, that's what the whole show
This
is.
movie came out in 2023. If you don't want spoilers, go watch it. I think we all love it. Now go, Matt.
All right. Crap. Okay. As soon as I try to
Crap.
figure out, as soon as I'm
Well,
about to say something,
I can,
the
I
thought
can,
went away. Fill up the dead air. Fill the dead air, Sean.
I can say thoughts and words. If there's one thing I love is that like one, if it's just the chemistry between all three of them, but on top of that, the movie does a good job of taking its time to like eventually and naturally be funny. Like it doesn't inherently. I wouldn't say it's that it doesn't really hit its stride with me in terms of like making me laugh until like it gets past that initial setup of like you have Tully and Hunnam stuck together and it's just the two of them with Mary. And once that is like finally set up, that's when it got like really hilarious. Because like my favorite part that made me like absolutely die was the part where Tully gets really pissed at Hunnam and then starts running through the school and then jumps into the gymnasium and then is like, I'm gonna jump on the springboard, and then he jumps on the springboard and like pops his arm out of his socket
You
and
said
he
you
just
washed your
starts
hands of me.
screaming bloody murder. My god, when that happened, I was dying.
It's so funny, and the back and forth of the you said you washed your hands with me. It was a metaphor. Of course, it was a metaphor. What did you think? I thought you were gonna actually watch your like. It's just so. Oh man, that is like maybe the best or at least funniest scene.
That is a great scene. Oh, another
Because
one of
that
my favorite scenes was when during like the Christmas party they were having, Mary got drunk and started grieving her son, and they just kind of like hold on it. They just kind of let the scene play out and just let her mourn, and like it just makes it more emotionally impactful because they keep at it. They show this character who has been so warm to everyone that everyone likes just be so heartbroken from the loss of her son.
Yeah, and I think that's like the heart. Like there's a loneliness at the heart of the movie and all of its characters, with Mary feeling that sadness that I can't even imagine, um, and feeling alone as a woman who there's really not anybody who can relate to her in her immediate surroundings, and who was a single mom, now is, a single mom, I guess, of a dead kid. And meanwhile, Hunnam and Angus are both isolated by their peers. Hunnam is completely disliked, to put it mildly, by both his colleagues as well as his students. Angus being similarly disliked by his peers, who just and being left behind as the lone holdover ultimately. But I think and I had a train of thought, and it just really just poof, it's gone now, and it's not coming back. It's gone.
it's gone. It
It's gone,
disappeared into the wind.
and I'm never gonna have a thought again.
Yeah, I think the one thing they also do a really good job with too is building up that like all of them, the one thing that Mary makes a comment of like towards the beginning of the movie is just because like Tully, for example, is in this like rich kid school, doesn't mean that he comes from a great background. Um with like the whole thing being that like none of them really have this ideal background, but they're all at like the school that's essentially for rich kids, uh, and inherently are all dealing with problems related to that. And like, I think it does a good job of like, one, finding good ways to bring sympathy around all of them in various ways, but making them all feel unique and that it's not just all like inherently like, oh, mommy and daddy don't like me. It's you have like on Hunnam's side, he has like his academic issues from his past from when he was in college that they go into later on in the story. You have Mary, of course, which I think is more like the pushing force in the beginning of the movie to kind of like start with the drum of her having recently lost her son, and also her having lost her husband too, both of them before they even got to the age of like 25, is like the big thing that they mentioned. So like her being around all these kids and seeing them doing so much better and having all these like better opportunities despite the fact that they are most of them little assholes, is like I just think it manages to put these people who all seem so incredibly different into a situation and an environment, and pushes them into like, to me it's like somehow having such different backgrounds and making them all mesh so well together and having such good chemistry. That's the part that like the acting to me and the chemistry between all three of them is like fantastic. The other thing I found that was funny too that I did hear about was that I didn't know that Paul Giamatti doesn't have a lazy eye in real life. Because like whenever I think about him, I feel like I see his bug eyes in my head.
He does have big eyes.
He like apparently doesn't have a lazy eye, so what they did was they gave him a contact that made it look like he had a lazy eye, and depending on the situation he would look towards the camera with a different eye each time, so that it would leave the people watching the movie guessing which one is his main eye.
That's so funny. It is a really good effect, to the point of, you're right, like when I see Giamatti now not being Hunnam, I'm like, oh right, he doesn't actually have that. And it's also put the idea in my mind that he must smell bad because his character is described as smelling like fishy. So now I feel like if I ever met Paul Giamatti, I'd be like, I don't know, cautious about his smell.
Sniff him.
The one
Sniff him.
They do such a good job with that, and like you bring up exactly what I thought I was gonna say, but better. Like talking about like as the movie goes on, finding out the screenplay kind of sets it up in a way where all these people, other than Mary is always kind of likable, but Angus, I always keep wanting to call Angus Agnes. Angus and Hunnam are both people that like, you don't hate them, and you can see that they don't have like terrible like values or anything, but you can kind of get why they're disliked. Besides the obvious, just like physical unpleasantness of Hunnam's supposed smell and sweaty palms. But the movie kind of like slowly goes through the information of Mary's. What happened to Mary's son, why Mary's son was at Barton in the first place, Mary's sister in Boston who's having a baby, and like the mixed emotions of being happy for her sister while also it being such a reminder of what she lost. Sean meant, and getting more information on Angus's broken family and Hunnam's failed career because of the fact that I don't want to like get into all the details just yet, but tries to do the right thing and it cost him, and now he's stuck behind at this this boarding school that he clearly has the mind of someone who would be like a professor at Harvard, but he's stuck here. And there's a resentment there. But I think that it's a credit to the screenplay that all of these characters have traits, and this is also then bolstered by the performances and the direction, that they all have these traits where you can completely understand why they're so isolated and what about them is off-putting to people. But at the same time, you never before you get to know them more, you never hate them. And by the time you get to know them more, all these traits that could be off-putting have become like quirks that almost make you like them more. And that's just a credit to like pretty much every element of the movie, from screenplay to performance to direction. God, and I had one more thing I was going to say, and I lost that too. So somebody else go. Matt, you never said your things, I don't think. Did you? Was I not listening? Did I not listen to Matt?
Oh, what, me?
You said you were going to say things, and then you told Sean to talk, and then Sean talked, and then I talked.
Oh no, I talked about the Mary thing. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay, I don't know. I for some reason I don't know. I thought I don't know. I didn't know if there was more.
Oh,
I'm
are
not
you
I'm
okay,
not
Jake?
I'm not all here tonight, guys. I'm really not. Um I'm really not. I was like right before we started recording, I kind of had felt a bit of some form of sickness coming on, but like not to be
We don't
fucking
have to record if you
no,
don't feel
no,
well.
Matt, I shit you not. I'm not even trying to be corny. Once we started going, I started feeling much better. Like,
Right? Well, that's good.
He
yeah,
shit
I
his
don't know what it
pants.
was.
He shit his
I was
pants.
like, no. I sat down and I was like, I kind of got a bit of a headache
He
coming
said
In his
in.
no,
shit
like
filled
this.
pants.
I feel like I may be getting a little feverish. Like I'm feeling like
No,
really
so
kind of
sincerely.
chilly, but also my ears are warm. Like I thought maybe, and which makes me sad too, because my wife has a performance tomorrow, so I don't want to be sick. Um, but and then we started recording, and I feel so much better to once I started talking to you guys. So it's the Christmas spirit flowing through me.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's the Animal Farm energy flowing through you. It pissed you off so much that you feel better.
Oh yeah, let the hate flow through you.
Let the pain flow through you, Jake.
Sure, you can go with that. I wanted to try to make it. I was trying to angle it as a cutesy thing, but sure, we're back at Animal Farm. Um,
It never left Animal Farm.
never. It's been Animal Farm the whole time. Always has been and
Don't
all that.
feel it.
What are we talking about? Holdovers, God, shit. I guess I'll
We're
move.
talking about God now?
Merry Christmas,
Jesus?
motherfucker. So I guess I'll move the plot forward and see if what I was thinking of comes back to me. But if you guys have more to say about this and not Animal Farm, interject. Um,
I love Animal Farm.
We all love Animal Farm.
Shit, I gotta yawn. Okay. So when Hunnam catches Angus trying to book a hotel room, the two argue about Hunnam's disciplinarian policies. Angus runs through the school halls and defiantly leaps into a pile of gym equipment, as described by Sean, dislocating his shoulder. Hunnam then takes Angus to the hospital. To protect Hunnam from blame, he lies to the doctors about the circumstances of the injury. It's kind of the first moment that the two of them start to have some kind of like nicety and understanding, and they're still going to bicker and they will never stop bickering, but it's like the first sign of like, oh, I think I get you a little bit, and like I see something in you that's good and not just annoying kid. At a restaurant after the hospital visit, Hunnam and Angus encounter Lydia Crane, Woodruff's assistant. Hunnam flirts with Lydia, who invites the pair to her Christmas Eve party. Angus, Hunnam, Mary, and Barton's janitor, Danny, who has a bit of he's a little flirty with Mary, attend Lydia's party. There, Angus and Lydia's niece Elise share a kiss after he confesses to looking down her shirt. That's a funny scene to me. Hunnam discovers that Lydia has a boyfriend and is not surprised but disappointed. It seems like he had maybe finally started to get his hopes up that somebody didn't hate, like wasn't disgusted by him. As Mary gets drunk, she has an emotional breakdown over Curtis's death, which Matt described previously. Hunnam insists on leaving early. As Hunnam and Angus argue, Angus says that Angus reveals that his father is dead, and Mary scolds Hunnam for his unsympathetic behavior, talking about those themes of that we kind of mentioned earlier of showing kindness to people because you just don't know what's going on in their life. Feeling remorseful, Hunnam arranges a small Christmas celebration. Mary persuades Hunnam to grant Angus's wish of a field trip to Boston, and after dropping Mary off in Roxbury to spend time with her pregnant sister, Angus and Hunnam walk through Boston, ice skate, and visit the Museum of Fine Arts, and continue to bond. So, okay, there's a lot there. We kind of already talked a bit about some of those scenes with Mary's breakdown. But I do think it is, as we're getting kind of like the middle of the movie, you really are starting to see the three of these people with like the chemistry that y'all talked about bond and start to slowly understand each other and where they're coming from a little bit more. I don't know where to go with that.
Don't forget the most important. Well, don't forget the most important part where Danny's the name of
Danny's the
the
janitor.
janitor, right?
Yeah.
My favorite part was him coming in after they come back from the hospital and everything's fine, and he just goes like, "I just had the weirdest thing. Somebody threw up in the gym," and they're all just like, "I have no idea how that happened. We're the only people here. But we don't know who threw up in the gym."
Oh, he looks so displeased with that. Yeah, this is like a really like one of the funniest movies in the last few years. The humor's very understated, but I think like when I think about the last like 5 years or so, there's very few movies I would put over this in terms of like comedy.
Yeah, it
Also,
is very funny.
I do love the little interactions with Tully and Hunnam when they're going around Boston and stuff, and just like it felt like Hunnam acting like such a dad to him throughout the whole thing, because it's just like him watching him ice skate, and just it gave me the warm fuzzies.
Him trying to get Tully interested in history via like ancient pornography, and then the hooker trying to pick up Hunnam at the outdoor like bookstore. Yeah, there's like a lot of great little moments throughout the movie, but in this chunk, there's just so many good like individual scenes.
It was also 10 times better that it was just Hunnam talking about history to make the hooker go away.
But he does well. He does that's hilarious that he scares off the hooker by being a nerd. But I thought you were talking about history, like the speech he gives Angus in the museum when he like shows him the pottery with the porn on it and talks about like history, the study of history being something to understand your present, and like that whole spiel he gives is something that you start to be like, okay, obviously this guy's a dick, and there's things he does that I don't think is like very good teaching in the way he grades or the way he's like when the students complain about the test and want to make up, and he's like, oh, I'll give you a makeup, but I'm going to add new material that you have to study all break. Like there's certain things he does that I think are too far, but when he does things like that, you're like, oh, this guy genuinely cares about the topic he teaches. He genuinely does want people to learn. You understand why it's important. And I think anybody who's had a teacher in their life that they connected with, particularly if maybe it's one that you didn't initially think you were going to, you can see it in that. Like I remember I had a business management professor that was very fucking intense, and he wasn't necessarily a hard grader like Hunnam is. But when I was at community college, I had this professor, and he was super intense, and I didn't know if I was like, I don't know if I fuck with this. And by the end of the like semester, I was like, this is the best teacher I've ever had. There's things that he taught me that I think about like regularly in life. And just as like, and like learning from him as someone who had a very different background than my own. Jason may sort of know who I'm talking about because he's the professor that put me onto the term. I almost feel like I shouldn't say. I feel like I'm appropriate, but getting your wig split, and I know Jason knows that. But I fucking loved this guy. In retrospect, and I think a lot of people like the reason this movie connected with so many people is a lot of people have someone who not necessarily like Hunnam in like outward personality, but in that a teacher that you really carry with you even after you may never see them again. Because I do think this movie ends with kind of an implication of there's like really no way of knowing if Tully ever and Hunnam ever connect post spoilers, Hunnam's firing. And I think that's a little universal. Yeah.
I also agree with this. I also had a flashback when I was looking at Paul. I had a similar teacher at the same community college as Jake. Fun fact for everyone who doesn't personally know us. Me and Jake went to the same community college. It was my English teacher, and he was like the personification of a grammar Nazi, and he was a very hard grader. But the thing is that he was also very funny, and he was also very fair. Because even though he was a hard grader, you can always ask him questions, and he'll always go out of his way to answer your questions. So he made it very clear that he's not trying to set you up to fail. He just wants you to learn. And I think that's very cool. It's very sort of like, I don't know how to describe it, like sweet, like uh,
I mean, there's like a
but
tough
similar
love
to how
element
Jake
to
Jake
it.
responded. Exactly, it's a tough love element.
Yeah, I'm gonna I'll piggyback with one more teacher because I feel like this is a good excuse to tell a story I know you guys have already heard, and I know our regular listeners of my parents have already heard. But I think it's worth telling because it's relevant to this. My ninth grade, our ninth grade freshman in high school was actually in our middle school, and that was the year I started dating my current wife. I had an English teacher who was known as the hard ass English teacher of like she was a hard grader. She was strict in class. She only sat like in the rows of chairs. She would only sit three deep because that way she could make sure no one had like she was very good about like making sure no one had their phones out because if only three deep, she could see everything really well. To the point of she sat everybody alphabetized. I actually sat isolated on a separate table because there was one people too many for the number of rows of seats or columns of seats to go through deep. There was like me with my last name at the end of the alphabet. So there was like a little circular table off to the side that I sat at. Because she'd rather do that than sit floor deep and risk someone being able to get away with having their phone out. Like that's the type of teacher she was. And she was very like, I mean, I remember her tests being hard. I remember she was not a teacher that you could easily get away without doing the readings and shit like that. But the story I want to tell, just because it's funny, and again, she's another one real quick that like in retrospect, I didn't appreciate it over the course of the year, I started to appreciate her more, but it honestly wasn't until years passed and even into adulthood I was like, man, she was great. I would love to like fucking like talk to her again. Like she was just great, and I think she was a good person. And I think she like low key instilled like a reasonable level of discipline in like middle schoolers, high schoolers, in a way that like carried through. But anyway, the story is that I'm dating my now wife, and my first period was this English teacher. And my at the time girlfriend had her first period in the same little like inlet of the hallway just across for history. So we would be so I would we would talk right before we had to go into our first period, and then I'd kiss her goodbye and we'd go into our classrooms. And one day I walk in and I'm the last person in. So everyone's sitting there. And this teacher looks at me and goes, Jacob, I am sick of you molesting that young girl outside my classroom. And I froze. Like, I don't know how to respond to this. Like, what the fuck do I do? How do I convey like I'm not molesting anyone? This is my girlfriend, and I didn't think we were being like I'm sure we are being more obnoxious than we should have been about it. We were in ninth grade, but I was like, I think in the grand scheme of ninth graders kissing in the hallway, we were near the bottom of obnoxiousness. And I was like a pack before we walked in. What do I like? I'm like, I don't know. It had to have been a couple seconds, but in my mind, it was like forever, and I was like, I have no idea. And I must have looked so terrified standing up there. And then she just goes, oh, I'm just kidding, go sit down. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's funny as someone who hasn't heard the story before and doesn't know this teacher, but it fucking, in retrospect, was like the funniest thing. Um, so yeah, teachers that you don't always appreciate in the moment. And Funham is certainly a great, well-written version of that like type of person that most people I think will encounter in their life.
Yeah, like everyone's had a teacher that they like was like whether it was their favorite teacher or they just like fucked with them. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's a type
Yeah.
of character that's extremely relatable, even if you know your version of it wasn't exactly like Paul Giamatti and his curmudgeonous ways in this movie, but like everyone has like some kind of person like that they've experienced.
I think that's why this movie works so well. It's because the characters are very well written, but they also feel like real people because they're not just one dimensional. They have extensive backstories. What you see of them or what you understand of them isn't just what happens in the movie. What happens it's they have backstories, but they're very believable. And the way the actors portray them also helps with you believing they are actual people. And so it just makes it more like it's just like more like the found family trope, but I feel like it works better because the characters are so well done. And it certainly makes for a classic, at least in my opinion.
All
Yeah, and
right.
I think the movie benefits from like having such a small main cast because, like you said, they're not two dimensional characters. They have a lot of depth, and the fact that it focuses mainly on just these three characters, I think, really helps it dive into them and show a lot without showing a lot, if you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
For sure. And like the source of that information, like as we learn about them, feels very natural. It doesn't, the revelations come up in organic ways that will happen when you're spending a lot of time around someone and starting to get to know them better. So you're really seeing like, as you, the character, like the POV character almost rotates throughout because as we learn more about Angus, the POV character is kind of Hunnam, and because we're learning it along with him about Angus's poor family life and about the fact that we'll get to in a second that his dad is institutionalized in a mental, I don't know what you call it at the time, mental health facility now, whatever. And as we learn about um, from like the next section of plot real quick is that Angus and when they're out ice skating, Angus and Hunnam encounter one of Hunnam's old classmates from when he went to Harvard, who's gone on to this successful career in academia and done all these things that Hunnam has dreamed of. I think one of the things that sums up Hunnam's character really well is earlier in the movie, they're talking about dreams and about writing a book, and he's talking about writing a monograph, which is like half a book or whatever. And Mary says you can't even dream a full dream, and that's it. Like this is the guy who's just kind of given up on the things that he wanted out of life, and is stuck in this at the high school he went to. So Hunnam, who's been preaching that Barton men don't lie, lies to his former classmate, and Angus plays along with it, learning that Hunnam was expelled from Harvard after a legacy donor's son had accused him of plagiarism when that son had actually plagiarized him, and Hunnam semi-deliberately hit him with a car. Although the incident nearly ruined Hunnam's career prospects, the old Barton headmaster had taken pity on him and offered him the adjunct teaching job, where he's been stuck ever since, and where his dreams have just withered and died. Um, yeah, I think there's a really good. I don't remember which one of you brought up pacing, but that's another element of the screenplay that is and the edit that is really good is how we get these revelations about our lead characters and how we learn more about Mary's son getting killed is in a way that is just very natural with like we learn about Curtis first because everyone's whispering about it and everyone's like walking on eggshells around Mary and treating her different, just like it probably would happen in real life, which only further isolates her. So you hear that information first because it's of course it's rumor, but everything else is so buried. It's so well done, and it's
The
so.
will.
Woo.
Ooh.
I talk so much and then I finally stop and I
Woo.
think someone else is going to say something and then you guys don't. And then I'm like, shit, do I have to talk more?
Here's the thing, Jake. Usually
You
by the time
definitely
you're done
don't have to
talking,
talk more.
exactly. No. Nah, it's just like well, it's because
Yeah, you can
by the
stop.
time you're done, every time you're done talking, and a lot of times there's nothing more to be said other than saying, "Oh, yep, I agree."
Well, maybe you guys should be better at what you do. Um,
Oh, ooh, so sorry, Jake.
I don't get paid for this, bitch.
it won't get any better. I'll tell you what. The little bit of self disclosure. I had this exact moment in therapy this week where I was like, I feel like I'm talking too much. I was like, I feel like, and then I'm talking over the other people, and that person gets paid. So I don't need it from two ends of the spectrum. You guys should get better. Be good.
Yeah, but is the point of therapy not for you to talk?
I know, but ultimately I need advice. I mean, I do at some point I have to shut up so I can get put in my place. At some point, she gotta go, hey, bitch, fucking fix yourself. And this is how.
Yeah, Jake's got
Yeah, Jake. You're a bitch.
special therapy where if he goes too far, they just beat him.
It's virtual, so I don't know. My therapist lives in a different state, brother.
Yeah, you talk too
In a
much.
different time zone.
Beat you up.
They run to Pennsylvania within the hour and they beat you.
Oh God, no, I could take her. No, I couldn't. God,
Jake hits women.
I don't hit women. I don't hit anyone.
You say that, but you just admitted you would not too long ago.
No,
so.
first of all, could and would are
people
not
know.
the same thing. And I also said no, I couldn't at the end.
Hey, you said you'd be able to beat her, but then you took that back.
Sorry.
Oh, you still try to hit her.
Jake thinks about hitting women.
That's not, no. You are misrepresenting. This is context collapse. You are completely misrepresenting. How do we? No. Jake is being a performative male. No. If we're gonna shit on Jake is talking about being in therapy. I had matcha today. Let's make fun of me for being performative. I don't hit women. I don't want to hit women. There's so many things you guys can get me on. There's so many fucking valid things.
You had matcha today?
This sounds
today because I was craving matcha.
This sounds like something that
matcha.
somebody who wants to hit women would say.
Someone told me that matcha tasted like something specific recently, and I was like, that sounds
low-key,
disgusting.
It tastes like dirt, but like after I've grown to really like it. I don't have it that often, but every once in a while, I'm like, ooh, I could go for a matcha.
Might have been pine that they said it tasted like.
Somebody told me once that it tastes like grass and dirt, and I don't think it tasted like. It tastes a little bit like grass, but mine was like super sugary, so I don't know.
I mean, it could be kind of.
I don't know. It's a disgusting color to me, so I don't want any part of it.
The deli in my building does
You hate
a good
the color
matcha.
green.
Green is the best
There
color
are certain
on the
things
planet.
like. You know when you look at a thing and you're like, that just doesn't look like something that I like?
I feel that
Yeah, I've
way
seen
when I
Sean
look at Matt
before.
all the time. Don't take my thunder.
Fucking, I took your hairline and now I'm gonna take your thunder. So hitting women, that was the thing people did in the 70s. So back to the 70 movie.
Great save, Jake.
I don't know where to go from here. I've been accused of domestic violence, apparently.
Never that. Anyway, the movie was good.
You've been accused of thinking about domestic.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Would hitting your therapist be domestic violence? Which I've not.
No, it's not domestic.
Doing.
It's just violence.
It's just. I am not a violent person.
It's not domestic. It's just violent.
I'm not violent in like any capacity.
Accusing you of thought crimes.
It's the name of my comedy special. Not domestic, just violent. Or how about this? International violence.
Who do you think I am, Sharon Moore?
Heyo.
That was a joke for me.
Fuck Michigan.
But
Fuck TTUN. Don't forget he was handpicked because of his character by Jim Harbaugh.
I
I
mix up the
shots going
Harbaughs.
everywhere.
because they both look like a smacked ass. So,
'Cause
anyway,
they have like the same name.
so the holdovers. Hunnam, God, I wonder. I maybe have to just cut that whole fucking section out. What did you just say, you dickhead? You just sent a Reddit link in the fucking chat.
I found it.
What did you find?
The Lonzo Ball
It's probably
thing.
about
Oh, the one from like the start of this
Matt, what?
episode. I'll check
Like
it
an
out
hour
after.
ago.
I'll check it out after we're done. But we've spent too much time talking about Animal Farm and me being a violent person, apparently.
You gotta keep all the Animal Farm.
I should make a poll. I could set up like polls on the question on like the episodes. Should I make them be a poll of like, do you believe Jake is violent? Yes or no?
Yes.
I should do it. Honestly,
yes.
if I remember, I will. I can't guarantee I'll remember. My hope is to have this out before Christmas. Oh shit! I could put this out Christmas Eve. This will be out maybe the 17th, maybe the 24th. If I remember, I will make the poll whether or not listeners believe, which is my mom and dad, believe I am violent. And I kind of hope that poll goes 50-50 because that'd be funny. So back to the movie, I think. Hunnam and Angus go see a movie. Angus uses this opportunity to sneak away. Hunnam catches them entering a taxi where Angus explains that he's going to see his father, who's actually alive, not dead. Initially, Hunnam's like, yeah, we can go to a cemetery. And he's like, yeah, so actually he's in a psychiatric hospital. The visit goes not very well. His dad has, I know they say early onset dementia. I think they may say paranoid schizophrenia. I'm not sure, but his dad is very clearly unwell. Angus tries to like catch him up on his life, and his dad is like, they're putting something in my food, and seems to not like fully understand who's talking to him. Following the visit, Angus, who takes medication for depression, which Hunnam finds, and you get a little scene that afterwards where you see that Hunnam takes the exact same medication. Angus expresses concern that his future behavior will echo his father's. Hunnam comforts him, telling him that you're not the same person as your father, and that no one is. Hunnam, Angus, Mary, and Danny celebrate New Year's Eve together. In January, school resumes, and Hunnam is summoned to Woodruff's office. Angus's mother and stepfather are there, and they tell Hunnam that Angus is not allowed to see his father, because his father will then start to want more, and God forbid we support the severely unwell man. The evidence being that Angus had given a snow globe to his dad, which led to a violent outburst. So they know that this happened. They can't lie their way out of it. Angus's mother and stepfather threatened to withdraw Angus from Barton and send him to a military academy, something that had been hung over his head for a long time if he'd ever stepped out of line again. However, Hunnam defends Angus, blaming himself solely, lying to say that he had convinced Angus to visit his father, and then going on to completely tell off Angus's piece of shit, terrible parents. Woodruff allows Angus to remain at Barton while firing Hunnam. Hunnam then steals expensive cognac from Woodruff's office and leaves, spitting it out as he goes, as he crosses the threshold outside of the school to go travel and see all these historical places that he's always wanted to see, starting to maybe live a bit of his dreams again. Mary, who has come to terms with Curtis's death as much as she can, is donating a lot of Curtis's baby stuff to her pregnant sister, who's set to have a son. Gives Hunnam a notebook before he leaves to write his monograph in. Hunnam and Angus share a farewell in his car. Like I said, Hunnam takes a sip of cognac, spits it towards the school, and drives away. All right. What else? What have we not talked about from this movie at this point? I feel like we've touched on the performances.
That was actually funny.
Yes.
The cognac was my favorite little bit because that was like, they don't show him steal it at the end. And it was just like it was like at the beginning of the movie when he's talking to the guy who's like the asshole head of like the school, and he just goes like, wow, you got that as like a gift? And he's like, yeah. And then like at the end of the movie when he looks over and it's like in the seat right next to him, and it's just the expensive cognac, and then he just takes it, drinks it, and spits it out. It was I liked that part was a good one to me.
Yeah, that is a great. What a good finish.
I like how
Yeah.
the ending is very bittersweet because you know how much he loved his job, but it had to be done. I mean, it's like the perfect like character growth moment. He grew
Well,
to
right.
care for somebody,
It's
I
and
actually think he
he
loved his
told him what
job though.
he actually risked something. He actually, like, as Mary pointed out earlier, he has chosen to do something, well, something very selfless for something else, for someone else. And like it's nice to see like Paul stick up, especially for Angus. Especially it seems like Angus is just very much misunderstood. I know that sounds edgy, but it's I mean it in every word. And the fact that he starts cussing as well, oh, that's also so good.
I don't know. I
it's
agree
Yeah,
that
and
it's
I just
also
someone else go so you can't yell at me
fuck
for
you while
taking
I'm going.
everything.
John go.
It's a It's also such a frustrating ending too, because by this point in time you kind of start to realize more and more that like Hunnam is actually like really trying as like a teacher, and like it's the same situation where he's also been kind of misunderstood as just being an asshole when in reality he's like the only one who's like genuinely trying to help, not entirely help in the beginning, I would say. I think that's a lot of that is like a learned behavior after this point of like him with Angus learning to like help a kid and connect with them on their level. But like you see that like he genuinely wants the kids who are capable of succeeding to succeed and to move forward in life. You even see that with like the multiple kids that he's like talking about throughout the movie that he is like historically like taught that he meets over time throughout the movie, or just ones that like he just fondly talks about, aside from the ones that like he doesn't absolutely despise. um it's just it's bittersweet seeing him get fired when it's like you feel like he's the only one that by the end of the movie that like as a teacher cares about the students and wants them to succeed in some way shape or form, and is being a hard ass to help them succeed in some way shape or form. So it just I liked that they managed to convey that by the end without it being overstated.
Yeah, it is kind of like the perfect ending, I feel, because it it allows every character to have their arc and to grow in their own way, and to like they all move on from the past in their own way, which is like kind of like the main thing in this movie, is like not holding on to the past and letting it like hold them back, like you know uh Angus being worried about ending up like his
Everyone just cut off from me.
what.
I don't know. I heard you said ending up like his, and then everything went silent for me, so I wasn't sure if.
Oh, well, I was just
Really?
saying like
I heard
they
Jason fine.
Well, okay,
well,
bitch,
I
but
was
my
just
phone's the
saying
one
like
recording it.
him having his stresses about ending up like his father, Mary mourning her son, and Paul Giamatti's character, whose name I can never remember, um, being stuck in the same school he went to, and being alone and reclusive, and they all like in the end get out of that and break out of that shell. So ultimately, it's kind of like the perfect ending, even though it is kind of sad in a way.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect ending as well. I would describe it like a little bit differently in the sense of I don't necessarily think like Hunnam loved his job. I think he likes teaching, but I think he kind of like would rather be teaching like at an Ivy League college, not like I think there's like a lot of like he's teaching people who just don't give a shit mostly. who he's teaching these people that are reminders of the type of guy who ruined his career, the type of people who are there coasting off of privilege and not actually doing the work. He's teaching a bunch of legacies, and I think like that's one of the reasons like him and Angus start to connect when he realizes Angus isn't just this rich kid. So I think it's one of those like it's sad and it's sad that he's leaving, but it's ultimately good because he had grown so much resentment there. And it was like I think he has there's this fear that like I myself can kind of relate to, and I think a lot of people in general of like he's in this job that's enough. He's the paycheck's clear, but he obviously has these dreams of writing this monograph, of traveling and seeing all these historically important places that he teaches about, and he can't like make the leap to go do it. And by finally actually like connecting with a student for once and standing up for him, he gets fired in a way that like he would never have had the guts to quit, but he had the guts to do the right thing and stand up for Angus. And it puts him in a position while he may be sad in the moment leaving, but I think that but he's finally going to get to pursue his dreams. And I think like to me like the saddest element is just these are three characters that have such a bond now, and that bond will always be there. But you never know if they're ever going to see, like, presumably Angus will see Mary at least through until he graduates from Barton. But realistically, like, we talk about teachers that we look back at and really value. And Angus probably gets to appreciate Hannah more in the moment than I appreciate any of these teachers in the moment. But these people, like, as much as I talk them up, I haven't seen any of them since I stopped being their student. And I, in all likelihood, never will. And there's a certain truth, I think, to be honest, I think the most likely outcome is Angus probably, especially in 1970 when you don't have, it was not as easy to connect with people via the internet. He's probably never going to see Hunnam again. When he's done at Barton, he's probably going to never see Mary again. But each of these people accomplishes, completes their arc by moving on from something that's been holding them back. With Hunnam moving on from the job that he's been stuck at, and also with that the bitterness of why he's stuck there. And Angus still having a lot that he has to deal with, but I think to an extent, like the movie ends with him seeming lighter and being willing to take advantage of his opportunity in Barton instead of just feeling like he got sent away. And Mary, nothing's ever going to fix having a dead son, but it feels like she's, by passing on the Curtis's baby clothes to her sister, there's just everybody feels lighter at the end, even if it's bittersweet. But I think it's really, sorry, I took everything again or whatever. But yeah, I think it's really perfect, like you guys said.
It's also very satisfying when Paul called the headmaster a penis cancer.
Oh yeah, you were penis cancer
that
in human
was-
form.
To be
Great.
frank, you were always penis cancer.
Because I think he said like penis too. So just that's
Like not
Dude, shout out to
penile
Paul
cancer.
Giamatti, man.
not
I mean, here's the thing: like he was awesome in this role, but he has a special talent playing assholes. Like who was that in? What was it? Straight Outta Compton. He was excellent in that. He was a great asshole. He also played another asshole in the Brian Wilson biopic Love and Mercy. Oh, he was a great asshole there too.
the Rhino in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, you mean showing up for like
Hell
a few
yeah.
minutes in the beginning and the end?
Rhino, that's an animal. Animal Farm? Wow, that
All I
one
know
died on
is
the
the
vine.
rhino. All I know is the rhino who goes. That's the one I know.
Matt just cut out for me when he was imitating the Rhino, and that feels like it may have been a mercy.
Oh, I'll do it again.
No, you don't have to. It's okay.
Oh, it's too late. I did it again.
It didn't come through again. I didn't hear a single sound or noise or word.
The problem with imitating the rhino thing is that it's like a silent scream. It's so funny though.
Honestly, I don't know if I remember, but
Oh, do you remember this? Do you remember the the rhino from Craven?
oh, you doing that right? I thought you were doing Paul Giamatti
You
Rhino.
mean
No.
Oh yeah, the weird. Yes, I know what
you
you're
mean
talking
the
about.
one that
You
went?
know, one of these days,
Yeah,
one of these
exactly.
days, we're gonna cover Craven the Hunter.
I'm gonna be
Dear
honest.
God,
I'm kind of looking forward to that because that movie is like because Rhino makes that movie
a
really funny for me.
masterpiece.
A masterpiece.
It's no Madam Web, but
Oh,
God,
we're gonna have to
all right.
cover that too, so don't you worry.
I know. Oh, I know. Wait. So, okay, the holdovers. Do y'all got more to say? Should we wrap it up? Um,
The movie is awful. 0 out of 10. Don't recommend. Everybody should never watch it, and it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Bad. Very bad. Super bad. The worst ever. I hate every single scene in this movie. Especially any part that has Paul Giamatti in it. The end.
fuck you, Sean.
You're a penis cancer.
Sean is penis cancer though.
Sean is penis
Hell yeah.
cancer.
I try my best to be.
Look at it. You know what? Here's your title now, Sean. You are ginger penis cancer derogatory.
All
That is
right,
a
well,
title I will take with honor.
I will do actual final thoughts then if no one wants to jump on anything other than Sean being a prick. Um, yeah, I think this movie's perfect.
Do you want to jump on my penis cancer?
I think it should be in the conversation for best Christmas movie ever made. There's really, I mean, we've talked at length about the performances, about the screenplay, the editing, the pacing. I think ultimately my favorite thing is in a movie filled with great things. I don't want to say the characterization of everyone like broadly, but I think it's for me my ultimate favorite thing that like pushes it over into that status of like one of the greats is its commitment to looking like a movie from 1970. I think the movie on its own, if you made this movie and it looks like a movie that came out in 2023, it would still be good. The screenplay is still good. The performances are still good. You know, they're still relatable, lovable, but frustrating characters with like very real emotions. It's still well directed, well shot. All of that would still be true. But there's an element of there's like a warmth. There's an aesthetic that like simultaneously feels warm and cold that this captures. That I think is like the summation of a good holiday movie.
Oh yeah.
It feels like it's cold outside, but you're warm watching it, no matter what the situation is when you put this on. And I think the fact that this movie looks like it's ripped from decades prior to the point of like it almost doesn't like I'm watching it in 4K and it almost doesn't look like it almost looks like it's like old school TV. Like it doesn't look like it's high definition, even though it is. It just has that grainy film aesthetic despite being shot on digital. It has the color grading is so like brown and cold, and every the way I mean I'm not like intelligent enough and we're too late in the game for me to try to be of like tonight of like the way things are framed and the aspect ratios, but everything about it is like it feels like a rerun. If you just like I said, if you were flicking around on TV and you saw this on, I feel like you may think it was just like a remaster of an old movie, an upscale of an old movie. And I think that's what puts it over the top for me into the type of thing that goes from just a really good movie, a really great movie, even into something that gets nominated for Best Picture, into something that, for my money, is an all-time holiday season classic. Like I could watch this every year, and I'd be happy every time, and I would never get sick of it. So that's my favorite thing. It's just the commitment to making it aesthetically from the era it's set in. And then my least favorite thing, I kind of refuse to give a legit one. I think this movie's perfect. I can't really think of any faults with it. So I'm gonna like cop out and moralize. I wish the director wasn't a pervert creep. He's not a good dude, but like film wise though, like I really think this is. I can't like actually give a real answer there, and I absolutely, of course, recommend it.
Yeah, I generally tend to agree with all of that. Um, I think it's pretty much perfect as well. It's just a special kind of movie to me. Like it feels very homey, and it's like there's like a sense of nostalgia watching it, even though it's like a time I wasn't alive for, and it's not like, you know, it's not a movie I grew up with. It's a movie I saw 2 years ago, but like, it still just feels like something I have known forever, like watching it. You know what I mean? It just has that vibe, and everything it's going for, I think it just sticks the landing perfectly. So not much bad to say about it. I think my main highlight is that I think the lead Angus is just, I think he's just spot on. Like he plays that kind of high school student perfectly. Like the smart but also an asshole, but also doesn't really give a shit, but also isn't friends with anyone. Like he's just, it fits that vibe perfectly, the whole movie. Um and yeah, I don't really have a least favorite, like Jake said. I guess I'll piggyback Jake's anti gross pervert sex deviant.
Well, let's not get
Uh,
carried away, Jason. You're a sex deviant.
well, no, but I said
Yeah,
gross
Jake's just
pervert.
violent.
There's nothing
Jason's
wrong
a
with
regular
perverted
pervert
sex
sex deviant.
deviants. Gross and illegal and disgusting immoral ones are the ones we don't like.
To interject real quick, Sean, you're at home, I presume, correct? Because I just got a text I got a text from a friend that says it's Sean at Longwood Gardens because if he's not, him and Lucy have doppelgangers. So I just wanted to inform you of that, Sean, that you and your wife have clones roaming around
Who,
there.
who the hell is at Longwood Gardens at 10 p.m.?
A different Lucy.
Oh
I don't know,
dear God.
it's probably like Christmas stuff. I don't know, but the not your wife Lucy just texted me and asked if you were at Longwood Gardens, and I just thought it was funny because I'm like on a call. I said no, I'm on a call with them, and she goes, "Well, then him and Lucy got doppelgangers." I don't know. I thought that was funny. Sorry, go on, guys.
Actually, I'm just I'm spending my time at Longwood Gardens talking to
You're spending your
you
date
all,
night
having a nice
recording a
chat
podcast.
about Animal Farm.
Anyway, I recommend this film. It's very good. There aren't really any cons. Except for the
What a
fact
great
that his
what a
lazy
great
eye switches
stop.
from eye to eye. Look, lack of consistency. That's a cinema sin right there.
God, I hate cinema search.
That one is goddamn on purpose.
Plot hole.
I also would recommend it. It is such a I wish I saw it in theaters because it just is it's such a good movie. And also it gives me the good warm fuzzy feelings and also makes me feel it does such a good job that with the editing and the production quality that went into it makes it have like this almost nostalgic feel to it that I think like really works for it for me. Uh so yeah, I think if anything my favorite part is just um the what's the word? Why am I'm so tired. Um not charisma. What's it's a CH word? The
Charm?
fucking how they interact with each other.
Chemistry?
No, the fucking. That's it. There we go. Fuck. God damn it.
Showed?
Jake solved the Wordle.
Way too.
Choke me, daddy?
This is my brain is not working, and choke me, daddy. That's the
Ooh.
right one.
Squirtle?
Ooh.
But
Ooh.
the chemistry is definitely like my favorite part of the whole thing. Just between everybody in the movie, it's fantastic. Even with like the kid who plays Tully and all of the other little shits, him interacting with all of them was really funny. And if anything, my favorite part is when on top of the chemistry is when Tully jumps off the springboard and fucking messes his arm up. That one is still like I was dying at that moment. And there is no worst part. This one gets across the board fantastic.
All right. So in that case, I'm glad that nobody I didn't think any of you all would dislike it, but it's nice that everyone did. So thank you to Alofett, Aloffett, for the podcast artwork. Thank you to Jason for the podcast music.
Podcast music, Jason. The upsides, it's just something, I don't know. But follow my band at Faraday Band PA on Instagram. We got a bassist, guys. Big news. Massive news. We have a bassist.
Monumental, if true.
Fake news?
So,
That's
yeah,
fake news.
Big things coming, guys.
Right.
Thanks for coming.
You can follow Culture Illiterate. We're on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Culture Illiterate Podcast. Like, comment, leave reviews, all that shit. At illiterate_pod. If it's a social, that's what our at will be. cultureilliteratepod@gmail.com is our email if for some reason you want to email us instead of doing a normal way of contacting us. And so next up, we're going to start covering the MonsterVerse, beginning with 2014's Godzilla. And I guess I will just leave everyone with, since it's a Christmas special, thanks for listening. Thanks to my friends and co-hosts for doing this with me on a Friday, spending their Friday night doing this, because I had a blast. And I don't feel violent at all. And I love these guys, and I love you if you're listening, unless you're a bad person. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and was it Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Bye.